Welcome back. So the third thing that was part of this process is I decided that making a big shift was possible for me too. And there was something about being in that year-long program that opened up my mind because I was surrounded by people who were achieving amazing results. And I love those moments where you suddenly find a group of people who are all in with you and you are all in with them. And you're almost just showing, like, it's like a secret club. You're showing stuff like, did you know you could do this? No. Did you know you could do this? No. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Oh, right, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Rather than if you are spending most of your time with people who say, does the internet, like, can you really make money from that? That is such not only like a downer on your resources, on your energy of feeling like you have to convince people all the time, but also it's not propelling you forward. And in this scenario of this year-long program, I felt like I'd found a new rhythm. And when I was looking to, even though this is all on Zoom, of course, even though I was looking left, right, up and down and hearing these stories of all these things that were happening, I just had to say to myself, even though I didn't know if I could, I am going to decide that this could be possible for me as well. And as soon as I decided, it was almost like I put a line in the sand and I set a new destination. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. No more. I'm not going back from here. And in being so clear as to where my vision was, and this is a really good lesson in itself. I think so many people don't know where they're going. They're in, they're out, they're thinking, they're hoping, they're back and forth. And if you actually to do a car journey, it's like they're stopping at every coffee shop along the way or going to the toilet or let's go and have a look at the view over here. And actually what you need to do in order to create that mileage is to stay in the car and to keep going and to keep progressing. So once I was really clear on what that vision was and I created the plan around it, I then invited myself to welcome any other feelings, thoughts, niggles that weren't in alignment. So I didn't just go, great, I've got my destination now. I know where I'm going. I'm so happy. This is happening. Off we go. I paid attention because even when you set these big goals, the old stuff will come up again and again. It's almost like you might have a dream to have, like, I'm going to clean my kitchen. In order to have that clean kitchen at the end of it, you might have to lift up some few things and go, oh, like the oven, you know, the cooker hood thing. You're like, I cannot believe I've let that get that dusty and manky, or, oh no, or you go into your spice drawer and you're like, well, that's out of date. How long's that there? Sometimes you will discover these things along the way, but your role in this is not just to say, I'm such a terrible person because I've got a pot of cinnamon and, you know, it's dated back to 2021. It's like, do you know what? I barely use cinnamon, so no problem. That cinnamon is done. I'll recycle the pot. I'll chuck the cinnamon and off we go. So I had to be willing to be so clear on my vision, but welcome all of the other stuff. Question it and release it. Anything that was not going to help, again, going back to that soundboard situation, I had to mute it, close it down, actively dial it down. And sometimes it was like a jack in the box, like, no, you can't do that. No. And I was just like, it's all right. Just calm down. Like, I'm going to try today. Come back tomorrow by all means. But today, but for this hour, for this work window that I've got, I need to focus. And really taking charge of my feelings and setting myself up in that way was such a game changer for me. Number 4, I got really clear on what my flavor was, but I was open to how it was going to be used. this is again, we can use a food analogy here. So you might want to think about a roast chicken, for example, or a chickpea if you don't eat meat. And think about all the different ways that you can use that one ingredient. It's the same with your personal brand. It's the same with your skill set, your talents, your skills, your experience, your background, the stories you can tell, the processes that you can explain. They are your flavors. But the way that they're then used can be so different. So I did like an all-day event. I did workshops, I did panels, I did one-on-one stuff, I did a VIP day online. So essentially it was the same flavors, but the way in which that they were used was really different. Now you might want to be, this is my flavor and this is the one way that you can do that. You might want that simplicity. Me personally, I love doing different things. I've never wanted to be a coach that just sits in a chair all day and just like opens a spinning door of hour-long appointments. We do the same thing day in, day out. I know that opticians are amazing who do those like one check after another. If I had to do that all day, it would not work for my brain. But what I have learned in that is you can have that varied business. You absolutely can. But you have to be clear on what the flavor is. So if you are cooking a roast chicken, for example, you're being very clear that it's roast chicken. It's not salmon, it's roast chicken. And the way in which you cook it and you handle it and what you can do with it is different. And so I want you to think about next where you go is what is that flavor? What are those flavors that run through your business? And if you're not sure, or if you feel like things are inconsistent or you're always working too hard, I invite you to go and have a look at your digital disco, which is in my shop. This is about building really strong foundations in terms of your online home. Because what was happening certainly at that time was I wasn't going out and meeting people. I wasn't interacting. We couldn't leave our homes. So that digital disco was so key. It was so essential to my growth, the way that I did things next. Come back for part 3. Check out your digital disco. It's available to purchase now via my shop, and I'll see you in the next one. Lots of love. Bye.